Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the LFC Transfer Room. Another week, another win for the Liverpool. Last night, 4-1 against Luton. A brilliant second half performance, boys. I must say, one of the best performances we've had in a long time this season. First half, we were a bit drab. Couldn't do anything on the ball, but second half, we picked up, and Jurgen Klopp definitely give them a speaking to in that half-time team talk, because they came out a different animal in the second half. And as Rob Edwards said, we saw Liverpool that second half. We saw Liverpool. We definitely saw Liverpool tonight. Please, welcome to Paul. Welcome to Kings. How are you doing, boys? Doing first and foremost.
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate.
Oh, good. It's all better after a Liverpool win, isn't it? Much better after a Liverpool win. You know, it's much easier to talk. Smiles all around, I presume. And big game on Sunday, haven't we? Got a big game on Sunday.
Well, it's it's a cup final for us. It's a huge game for Chelsea.
It's a standard game for us. Before we do get
us.
into the Chelsea game, the Carabao Cup final with Chelsea, hello, Damon says, Moose says, hello, Damon, Paul, and Kings, and the chat. Hello, Moose. Good evening. I hope you're doing well, Moose, tonight. I hope everyone in the chat is doing well. Before we do get into the Chelsea game towards the end of the stream, some huge news coming out today, actually. Big names, Romano, Ornstein, Plettenberg. There's a few names today that has come out and said some interesting news. We're going to start off the top, and that is Xabi Alonso, the main guy everyone wants for the Liverpool manager's job. According to Florian Plettenberg, that we have, and Bayern Munich have made contact with his management to be our new manager after Jurgen Klopp leaves in the summer. This seems like a straight fight now between Bayern Munich. It could be Real Madrid involved. Even United are still there and thereabouts. We don't know about Ten Hag if he's going to be there or not. Barcelona are still up in the air with what they're going through. Alonso's the guy you need, Paul, right now for everyone to really push for. But, do you think Liverpool could get ahead of Bayern on this?
Well, I think Bayern did a smart move by announcing that Tuchel will be done at the end of the season. And I'm pretty sure that if Liverpool had not announced that this is Klopp's last hurrah, Bayern would not have made that move right now. So they basically make that announcement to allow them the space to try and talk to Xabi, without all of the rumors going on and stuff like that. So I think it's a smart move because obviously they really want him. So now it's just a matter of, it's up to Xabi, because clearly that we want him, clearly that Bayern want him. So it's just a straight fight between both of us. I believe we have the edge for a number of reasons. Yes, he played for both teams, but I think we are in the better situation right now. If you look at this squad, with the talent and the age of the squad, I think it's a no-brainer to come to Liverpool. Plus, it's widely accepted in football that the Premier League is the best league in the world. So why wouldn't you not want to prove yourself in the Premier League? There is talk that maybe he should go to Bayern or go somewhere first and then come back to the Premier League later on when we get some more experience. But the problem with that is there's no guarantee. If Liverpool will move on and get somebody else, there's no guarantee that there will be an opportunity for Xabi to come to Liverpool down the road. So I think Liverpool is a no-brainer decision for him. But Bayern is also a top European team with a rich heritage and a lot of winning. So I could see him go there. Yeah, I mean, he's living in Germany already. Sometimes there's stuff that you don't know. His family's there, his kids are in school there. So there are other factors that could determine where he goes. But the only thing I think Liverpool would insist is that we need to know from early, so that if he's not coming, then, we can look elsewhere. Plus, he may also stay at Leverkusen. Who knows? But I think you're going to see a lot of names popping up all over for the next couple of weeks, month or so, because that's just how it is. But I think we are favorite, but, it's not a done deal by any stretch of the imagination.
I do agree with you in terms of getting things done quickly. Not rushing it, but we still need to get things done and soon as, because the season, I've been seeing, there's only 6 home games left for Klopp. There's not left much of the season now. There's 12 games left in terms of the league, and then you've got the Europa League and the Cups. But it's going to be over like that. And when it's over like that, and we haven't got anything sorted, the manager sorted, we've still got the sporting director to sort out. Life comes fast at you. And I think the quicker we sort the sporting director out, they can get the manager in. I think it'd be just much easier for Klopp to leave, knowing that something's there in place, ready to go again. Jen, thank you so much for the 1999 super sticker. We have run out of the transfer budget. It doesn't mean anything right now, so it is going towards the Xabi Alonso fund right now, Jen. We're trying to help FSG as much as we can to get the things we want to get. Great point. Paul says Moose here. What does Moose says here? Same, Damon. We cannot fall behind. We cannot fall behind about anything, and we need to start getting things done because Bayern ain't going to mess about. You know, it actually made me laugh what Bayern have done. Actually, basically saying to Tuchel, you know, we don't want you anymore. We want Alonso, but please can you stay until Alonso comes? Imagine that being a relationship. Like, I don't want to be in a relationship anymore, but please can you just stay until I get the next person? Is that I can't believe Tuchel's even agreed to that, knowing that they've let him go, but he's happy to stay until the end of the season to maybe just get bored easily at home. That's the only thing I can think of. Jim says we have to get sporting director sorted sooner than later as well. Well, exactly that. Like, people are talking about, you know, Alonso is pretty much done. It's like, there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, we're doing it quietly in the background. We've got Alonso done. He's definitely come to us." Like, we haven't got a sporting director, and it's been put out there that we need a sporting director before we get a manager. So how can a manager be done until we've got a sporting director? It's always been put out there that the sporting director is going to help us get the manager that we want, and the sporting director is going to be involved in the choosing of the manager. So how can any manager be sorted until that is sorted? Until that is sorted, then the speak of managers is absolutely pointless right now. I know we're speaking right now, that's the news story, and this is what we speak about. But, you know, as a whole, and people saying, "Oh, Alonso looks like his eyes," definitely, you know, trust FSG, they're going to get it right, they're going to get Alonso. They ain't got a sporting director. So let's get that one straight. J-Moo says Solskjaer would take up Bayern as a caretaker if Tuchel leaves. Tuchel ain't leaving. He's leaving until the end of the season. And, you know, for me, is that a strong indication, Kings, that Bayern could possibly know Alonso might have chosen them, or there could be, you know, a gentleman's agreement there, something, because, you know, they are waiting for something. Do you think they might know something? Is the contact made there? Do you think they might have been given a hint or something?
No, I don't think so. Not yet, anyway. I think Xabi, to be fair to him, you know, he goes into press conferences at the moment, and he knows the first kind of few questions are going to be, right, are you moving? Which is really unfair and it's disrespectful to Leverkusen, to be honest. So I think the latest one he's done today, whatever. You know, it's like, I got nothing to say about it. Don't ask me, this kind of thing. I'm happy here. That's perfect. That's what he should be saying. You know, it's like when teams talk about other teams' players, and it doesn't happen that often. Like Jurgen Klopp doesn't normally mention other players he's after from another team. He did it with Caicedo in the summer because he thought we had an agreement. I don't think he'd have mentioned him by name otherwise, because it doesn't happen normally. So for me, I don't think it's necessarily a done deal he's going to Bayern. I've seen in the comments, you know, like I think he bleeds Liverpool FC blood. It's like, I'm not sure if he does, but would he be a good fit? Nobody really knows. You know, at the end of the day, FSG might have a different idea. I know we all say, "Oh, Xabi Alonso, he's played at the club, he knows what it's all about, etc." But FSG, I mean, they plucked out Jurgen Klopp. Probably, I don't think anybody mentioned him when Brendan Rodgers was leaving. When he first left, it was never a case of, we should go and get this guy. Well, I don't recall anyway, you know. And all of a sudden, they just went, right, we've got this guy. He's coming from Germany. And we were all a bit like, okay, then. And then we actually fell in love with Jurgen Klopp because he's amazing, obviously. Whether Xabi Alonso is going to do similar if he comes, who knows? Until he gets here, we don't really know the players he'd want, the players he doesn't want, anything. And the same thing with the sporting director. They're going to go hand in hand, working together. So there's been rumours that the guy, is it West Ham, is it? I think he got him at Leverkusen, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to go and get him because he knows him really well." It's like it never seems to fall into place quite like that in football. We all know that. We all might want somebody and expect it, and then especially with FSG, we go, "That's definitely going to happen." And then you get to the crunch, and it goes, "Actually, we've decided to pull out of that one. We're going to do this instead," and they throw a curveball. So I don't think he's agreed to go to Bayern or to Liverpool or anything else. I think he's behind the scenes probably analysing everything that he is potentially getting offered. And there could be other teams involved as well.
Well, like I said, there's Madrid. They're going to be looking possibly for a manager. Barcelona might be looking for a manager. Man United might get rid of Ten Hag. They might be looking for a manager. There's so many teams out there in the manager sort of pursuit that you can't guarantee that Alonso's just going to choose Liverpool. I think a lot of people have. A lot of people have just put it out there and said, "Yeah, there's no way he's not choosing Liverpool. He's someone born in Liverpool. He's all there. He's connected to Liverpool." But you got to remember as well, like. It's like Paul said, he's over there in Germany, lives there in Germany. His kids go to the school in Germany. It's probably easier for him to choose Bayern Munich. It might be that next step as well. He might think like, is that little step too big for me right now in terms of going to the Premier League, testing my waters? Let's see if I can put my work into Leverkusen, then maybe Munich, a little step up again. I'm not saying Liverpool are bigger than Munich. I think Liverpool have been in Munich, but you know what I'm saying? I think the Premier League is obviously bigger than Bundesliga. So it's a bigger step up again. So Alonso's a smart man. And Alonso knows when to take over certain teams, when he needs to take over certain teams. I mean, Gerrard, for example. Gerrard has said himself, if I won't be a Liverpool manager unless I know I'm ready for being a Liverpool manager, he would never take the job unless he knows he's ready for it. So, he first and foremost is a Liverpool fan, so he wants Liverpool to do well. And if he thinks he ain't good enough right now, he will take it. Xabi Alonso could be thinking the same thing. He might still think just because he's done well for one season from Bayer Leverkusen, he's challenging for league, doesn't mean he's ready for Liverpool. You don't know. He might himself think that himself. He might think, I'm not ready for Liverpool. I might just take a little step up and go again with Bayern Munich. And again, the way Bayern Munich run is absolutely perfect. They run, the throughout the club is well run, and they always pick apart the Bundesliga teams, whether it be players, but now they're looking at managers as well. So again, it goes into that talk he has with FSG as well. Do FSG winning round? We don't know, because FSG, you can see, is so many times have let Klopp down. So Alonso's not blind to that. He'll see that and say, hang on, you haven't backed Klopp here, you haven't backed Klopp here. Klopp's won one title and one Champions League. What are you expecting me to do here if I don't get that back in as well? So you've got to take everything into account when it comes to this. Things will happen when things will happen, but again, we've still got to talk to the Spaniard director as well, haven't we, Paul? So we've got, it's going to be a long few months. We've still got the season to even think about right now. So everyone's focused on the season, but we're still thinking about the manager and Spaniard director. But another manager coming out in the name is Ruben Amorim for Sporting Lisbon. The Sporting Lisbon manager who plays very, very attractive football. And a lot of people, if Alonso's not your guy, it's normally this guy, from what I've been seeing. A lot of people are quite they're bewildered by why he's not the first choice, because of the football he plays, the style that he plays. It might suit our team a little bit better than Alonso. But he is the strongest candidate apart from Alonso, according to Miguel Delaney. So if it isn't Alonso, Paul, is Amorim an option for you? Is he the strongest candidate other than everyone else?
Well, the thing about Amorim is he's a very young manager. Yes, he has won the Portuguese league, I think, 2 years ago, with a team that is not used to winning or has not been winning for quite a while. But it's still a big risk. The Portuguese league is nowhere as difficult as the Premier League. I think this guy is like 38, 40. He's a very young man.
Very young manager, yeah.
Very young manager, right? So coming to that would be a gigantic step up from Sporting to Liverpool, from the Portuguese league to a team in the Premier League that we expect to win, not just to compete in the Premier League, but to also win in Europe as well. So it's a big jump. I'm not saying that he can't do it, but the truth of the matter is we don't know, right? And any manager right now is going to be a risk. So I don't know enough about him, to be honest, to say that he should be definitely the second choice behind Xabi Alonso. But, as Liverpool fans, whoever is the manager, whether we know him is a surprise or not, or is one of these guys, we'll just get behind him because it's our team, and that's all we can do. Obviously, if he comes, we would welcome him. Maybe he can bring Gonzalo Inacio with him. That would be a bonus, right? Because he's one player at Sporting that we have been twerking for quite a while, especially this season. So that would be a big plus. But again, he was hot 2 years ago. Now he has cooled off a little bit because I think they're like second or third in the league, somewhere there. So as I said, I don't know too much about him. Yes, he plays attractive football. I've watched a little bit of it, but not much games. So I don't know, Damon. It's just a risk. We just have to allow the club to do their due diligence, and we just have to get behind whoever is chosen. Because we as fans, the thing we want though is that we want clarity. We don't want this to drag on too long in the off season. Whoever is the manager, we need to know. One thing I'm pretty sure about Xabi, the moment he decides where he's going to go, I think he will quietly tell the other teams. If he is going to go to Bayern, even if it cannot be announced until in the off season, I'm pretty sure he would whisper to Liverpool and says, "Hey, I'm going to stay in Germany." So the fact that Liverpool is still talking to him, that gives me a lot of hope. But to be honest, we really don't know a lot of stuff that is going on behind the scenes. Yes, we would like a sporting director first. That's the best case scenario. But right now, I think we should just focus on what's left of Klopp. I think he's going a little bit too soon, but it is what it is. So right now, I think we should just more focus on the next 12, 13 games we have left in the season and just take it as it is. Because anybody comes to replace Klopp, it's going to be a risk. There will never be another Klopp. So we just have to hope for the best. That's all we can do.
It is frustrating because we're here, right? We're focused on the season, but we know that's still the back of our heads that this is happening. Like, this needs to be sorted. Also our mind's focused like, let's go win this league. Let's go win this. If we can win this quadruple, let's go win this quadruple. Let's give Klopp the best send-off ever. But still, there's that little niggling feeling in the back of you, like, Klopp's leaving. We ain't got a sporting director, and we ain't got a manager. So this needs sorted. And when people say, trust the board, trust FSG, I do not trust FSG. I don't trust FSG to vac my living room carpet properly without leaving the muck on the floor. So I don't trust FSG. They got Klopp right, they got Michael Edwards right, but ever since the leaving Michael Edwards out, Michael Edwards going, they've made some bad footballing decisions. By the way, they went out a month without a doctor at the club. The medical staff's everywhere at the moment with the injuries all the time. They've had to get a temporary sporting director in. Now they're going into a summer with a sporting director and a manager needed. They went into a summer with a new midfield needed, and letting them all rot in the team for long enough. So, do I trust FSG to make the right decision? No, I don't trust FSG. I'm hoping they do make the right decision, and if they do make the right decision, fair play to them, and it works out, then they will get the rightful praise for it. But I do not trust FSG with anything. I honestly, I won't trust them to make me a cup of tea, to spit in it. So I'm being deadly here. I won't trust FSG. So get that sporting director, FSG. If you are listening to your favourite podcast, your favourite streams on Thursday night with me and sporting director sorted, and then make sure they are mindset on that manager. I know you don't concentrate on what's on the pitch anyway, John, but please make sure you are concentrating on what's going off the pitch right now. Okay, that's all we need to say to you. But according to Miguel Delaney, that obviously the new structure at Liverpool needs to be finalised as well. So that's halting the Alonso sort of stuff. But he does believe that not only Liverpool are in for Alonso and Bayern Munich, but Barcelona, Man United, and Real Madrid are looking at Alonso as well. Kings, it's going to be a fun summer. If you were Alonso, let's put yourself in the Alonso shoes. Which way are you going?
I mean, he's got a pull about him at the moment that he's obviously taken them from second from bottom all the way to where they are now, 8 points clear, I think it is still. That's a hell of an achievement. But apart from that, what has he done? So, and I look at it quite detached away from who's coming in and who's going. And I mean, I love Jurgen Klopp, right? He's amazing. But as I've got older, I've managed to detach myself as a fan from the ups and the downs. Like, I cheer when we score, obviously, and I'm down a bit when we lose, etc. But when players come and go, same as managers, to me, now as I've got older, I've realised that's just part of football. Right? And I realised I got up to as far as Fernando Torres. And when Torres was like, I'm Liverpool through and through, and then a few weeks later went, I want to move to Chelsea, I was absolutely gutted. And from that day on, it doesn't matter who's played for the club, I'm just like, okay, they're here now, they'll go one day. And unfortunately, that's the same for Jurgen Klopp. He's going to go sooner than we want.
No, he's not a Liverpool fan. He's not born and bred a Liverpool fan. So to him,
well, this is it. You know, so you just kind of like
become a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, you just get used to that in your head, and you think, right, okay, that's happening. From the Xabi Alonso thing, I look at it and I think, okay, he's played for Liverpool, he's played for Madrid. Now, as a manager, you're still in your head have probably player allegiances. So he's probably not necessarily looking at Barcelona because he's thinking, well, I was Madrid kind of thing. I think his dad actually played for Barcelona, didn't he? So he probably has got some pull there, I think. So, but he's always, managers who are doing really well are always going to be linked with so-called bigger jobs. And I mean, the pull of coming to Liverpool must be immense for him, because we helped shape him into the player that then he went to Madrid, obviously, and became even bigger. And I just think that whoever it is that comes in it's got to be the right time and the right fit. And what I mean by that is that's the same in any club. The person who comes in, Jurgen Klopp could have come in, and after 2 years they've gone, it just didn't work, mate. You know, you're out. But luckily for us, it worked perfect. Who's to say that Alonso or Amorim or anybody else comes in and it works? It could just be one of those, it's run of the mill, it doesn't work, and we go, unfortunately, we've got to find someone else. I don't think, personally, at this point, he'd go to Manchester United. I mean, you don't want to go to Manchester United anyway. Nobody does, do they? I'm surprised they've got a manager because nobody wants to go there. Bayern, I'm not sure. Do they have the same pull as Liverpool? I don't think so myself, but I suppose I'm classed as slightly biased.
I think there was a Bayern thing. I think it's more of like the structure of the way the club is. I think that's quite inviting. You're guaranteed most of the time success. You're guaranteed to be in the Champions League every single season. So there is certain things that Bayern cannot offer that we can, if that makes sense.
I think if he goes there, I can understand why. It is same country, and as you say, you know, is everybody's learning German over there, and he's settled, etc. But I think possibly I'm going to edge on the fact I think the Liverpool job coming up at this point is too good to turn down, and I think it will be him. But as Paula said, whoever it is, we just need to get behind him, and hopefully we're happy with. It's going to take a bit of transition, and everybody. I hate that word because people go, "Oh, he's not playing really well because he's transitioning because he's just come in, etc." It's like, listen, you know your jobs. We've got a fantastic setup at the training academy and everything now. These players coming through, as we've seen last night, he's starting to blood more and more. I reckon, what is it, 6, 7 young players this season alone?
Under 21s last night, 7 players under 21.
Yeah, and I think Klopp already knows he's leaving us in a lot better position than what he found us with some of the star players we got, and some of these players coming through. They're going to be exceptional. You know, we do look at somebody like Conor Bradley. I mean, at this particular point, he's on fire. He's fantastic. Hopefully that'll last the whole of his career with Liverpool. But, you know, you can only take him as you find him. And there seems to be a massive buzz around the club at the moment of people coming through, the players we've already got. And any new manager picking that up and running with it, hopefully will have lots of success. But again, we'll have to wait and see.
I think that's what the fans are running with right now, because we are looking good. We're top of the league. The players going through are looking very good as well. It seems like the perfect case scenario where anyone should be attracted to us, but that's simply not the case. Sometimes, you know, we lose out to players many times. Look how in Bellingham, Madrid, you know, Mbappe now. We want Mbappe, but we're never gonna push for him financially. So we're not good. We do lose out for teams as much as we put up on a pedestal. There's only so much we can do, and again, it comes down. Sometimes it comes down to money. What if Alonso does get offered a little bit more money by Munich, and we're not willing to match that? We're not saying, you know, we want you, so we will match that money. You know, sometimes it does come down to that. One thing LSE for spotters have to come to grips with is that might not be Alonso. So many have said Alonso are nothing and setting themselves up. They are setting themselves up, Moose, but you know, I agree with everyone. I don't think it should be Alonso or nothing. I think it should be Alonso number one, and then obviously the Amorim and De Zerbi are definitely in the race and deserve to be in the race, because, you know, that's the plethora of managers that are available right now. And whoever comes in, all you can do is say to them, just make that connection. And I think that's why Alonso makes that the most sense, because he's already got that connection with the Liverpool fans, he's got that connection with the city itself. So that connection is not needing to be made. But if it is Amorim or someone else, then that connection needs to be made, because once you are connected with the fans, you're connected with the city, you're connected with the club itself.
Yeah.
You take it on like that, like the way Klopp has, is become, you know, one of us. Look what he can do. Look what he can do. That's what, you know, I like Benitez, but that's one thing Benitez never really did. He made a connection in terms of like he did for Hillsborough and things like that, but he never really did it like Klopp did, if that makes sense. He never became the fan. He was more tactician-wise, he was more just to himself wise, but obviously after he left and stuff, he did more for Hillsborough and things like that, which is brilliant. But as a manager, he didn't make that connection that we love as football fans anyway, but we love as Liverpool fans. That connection with the manager, you know, the manager is the powerful man at Liverpool, always the powerful man. He's the one that we listen to over players, and that is the right way to run a club, because the manager is the guy that should be in charge. Player power should not be a thing. If the manager is doing something wrong, then we'll call that out as well. But manager is the manager for a reason. He manages the entire thing. Going on to a new little storyline then, Paul, and that is we spoke about it a little bit last week. Pedro Neto. We did speak about the fee and what it could be, but Ornstein has come out and said it could possibly well be £80 million. Paul.
No.
£80 million.
No, that's
sold,
crazy.
No, you're not sold.
That's crazy. No, we know that literally all transfers right now, players are overpriced, right? We know that. We know that Caicedo wasn't worth 110 million, even though we're prepared to pay. But for a player who is so injury prone, that's my problem with Pedro Neto. It's too much of a risk for a guy that is so injury prone. He's a very good player. He's young. He's the right age. He played the position now that we are looking, you know, somebody in that he's a left-footed right winger. So he's a decent player. But the guy is always injured. And to me, especially if Salah is going to hang around for another year or two, which I think he will, I don't see us plunking 80 million on a guy who would not start every game, who would be on the bench essentially, because he's not going to replace Salah. And I don't see how we could have both of them in the team, in the 11. But he is at 80 million for a guy like that is ridiculous. Even if you look at the Crystal Palace player, Olise, he's another supreme talent. But I guess because we have been bitten so much by injuries over the last couple of seasons, you know, Thiago and those, you know, these kind of players and big money and not available. That's why maybe I'm getting a little bit gun shy when we talk about that kind of money for those kind of players. You know, I never forget this guy that we signed on loan and he played like 13 minutes. What's his name? Arthur Melo. And he was injured right throughout. So 80 million, I mean, the players in demand, so Wolves is well within their right to ask for whatever they want, because, you know, the market is the market. But I would be disappointed if we plunk $80 million for Pedro Neto. But again, as you always say, Damon, it's not my money, right? Which is true.
Not our money. Not our money. We say it all the time, like, it's not our money, but we know players are overpriced. We're going to have to pay overpriced everyone. I think Wolves are probably making up for what they haven't earned on Jota and other players like that. So, but I've heard, Paul, that there are some medical beds available right now at Liverpool.
I don't disbelieve that. I believe that, but I just, if Salah leaves and we get, say, 150 million for Salah, and we figure that, you know what, he is over his injuries and he's going to play every day, then it might be a little bit more palatable. But if Salah is going to be with us for another year or two, and I think Salah wants another crack at the Champions League, I don't think Salah is in a rush to go to the Saudi League, especially, with the latest reports from players who have been there and, unhappy. Henderson, Benzema, all of these stars that went there, and after a month or two, they regret it. So if even this other guy, Jota, not our Jota, the other young Jota there that went to the Pro League there. So I think that has saved us. And Salah is so well loved at Anfield. His family is so well loved in Liverpool. I think he is going to be with us for another year or two. But unless he goes, I don't see the reason why we should plug 80 million on Pedro Neto. I
even I agree with FSG sometimes, mate. Even I agree with FSG sometimes.
Yeah. But I think Salah is going to stay. I don't know if I'm being overly optimistic, but I don't think Salah is going to leave. Even though you could say, well, Klopp is out, so there might be uncertainty. But the club is more than just the manager. And I think Salah is going to stay.
I agree. I've always said, like, Salah, if he was an indication of Liverpool being better this season and challenging for titles again, I think Salah would stay, because I think he loves the legacy and the trophy haul more than the money. I think he's more grounded than most football players.
Yeah.
Please make sure you do smash a like James said. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Smash a like on the like button, please. It helps the channel absolutely massively. It gets our algorithms up, and hopefully we can become the channel that we want to become for you guys. And if we become the channel that we want to become, then it's even better for you guys at home, because the content's going to improve. We're going to have more content. We're going to have not a home contact. Like, this is at our homes. This is just face to face. We want face to face, proper content for you guys, like proper fan channels. But we're going to be better than other fan channels. I can assure you that if you can get us to the place where we want to be, I can assure you we'd be better than any other fan channel around, especially Liverpool fan channels. So please do smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. Going away from actual players that we want and a manager that we want, Kings, as a player that we do have, but Darwin Núñez, it just came on just before I came on to stream tonight that Real Madrid and Chelsea both tried to get Núñez in the summer. It's funny how plenty of rivals diss this man, but it's their managers and their clubs that end up going for them in the end anyway. What do you think about that? What's your initial thoughts on that? Real Madrid and Chelsea going for Núñez?
It doesn't surprise me. I think he has the talent. He took a decent amount of time the first season to really settle maybe to how Liverpool play, and in a way we had to adjust how he plays as well, because we've always had a front three, and I know he kind of still does that now, Klopp, but I think when Darwin came in, it was more of just, I'm a target man, instead of three interchanging players all the time like we had. And of course, they were phenomenal. We had lots of success with them. So it was a slight change, I think, for Darwin and for us. And he took his time to find his feet. And I mean, I think he's on similar kind of goals from last season, but he's on a lot more assists. So he's definitely up that side of his game. And I think he'll pass the goals tally that he did last year, ultimately. I like him as a player. We've talked before, and I've talked on other shows over different days, that he causes so much chaos when he comes on that in a way the other teams don't really know how to handle him. When he's running at you, like, I mean, the goal he scored with the chip, I mean, it was just blatant arrogant, really, to just run at the goalie instead of trying to put it either side of me. Just like, I'm just going to chip it over you, mate. And I think, Jota had headed it on and run almost alongside of him, thinking he's going to get to the goalie, pass it to the side, and I'll just slot it in. Yeah. And then he just chips it up, and I'm sure Jota's thinking to himself, what are you doing? And it just nestles nicely in the back of the net, and everyone's like, oh, he's fantastic. But of course, there's loads of times when he's done that and it's hit the post, or it's gone just wide, or he's, the goalie's got to it, and you think, oh, he's really unlucky. When it works for him and gets his confidence up, he's fantastic. And I think at some points he's unplayable. So I can understand why maybe other teams are looking at him. I mean, I wouldn't sell to Chelsea ever, full stop, after what happened in the summer, which I'm glad it happened now because we've got, I think, a better midfield. But that's a different story again. I mean, I wouldn't sell to Chelsea literally if they were bottom of the National League and they were struggling. They're thinking, I don't care, just struggling. I'm not bothered. You're not having the players. Real Madrid is a different proposition altogether for someone like, they over time they've taken like Alonso, and they've taken, Barcelona have come in, like Coutinho, etc. and Suarez. Some players look at them as like they're up here to achieve, to get to play for. Yeah. And of course you can't deny, Madrid's tally of European Cups, I will still say. It's fantastic. You can't deny that they've won them. So I can understand that he might have his head turned slightly, but I still think to myself, at the moment, especially up until recently, playing under Klopp, he's still got lots to learn and lots to give. And I think at the moment he doesn't need to go anywhere. He really needs to stay. But it doesn't surprise me that others are sniffing around.
He does when he doesn't play. I said this on the podcast like a month ago when I had Cecil from AFTV and then I had two Man United fans on as well in Neji and Leon. And they laughed at me when I said Núñez is a decent player. They laughed. And I'm like, I said, when Núñez doesn't play, you notice it. You notice he's not there. And that's the best compliment I can give him. Because when he does play, he makes the team tick a little bit better than what he should do. Obviously, last time we missed him against Luton, but I think, luckily, against the opposition that we're against, I think we absolutely need him against Chelsea on Sunday. Chelsea, I'm not saying it's an easy win. It's definitely not an easy win. We've had Chelsea twice in the cup finals, and we're drawn 0-0. We didn't even score against them twice, two times, and that was now a quadruple run before when we were even playing at a brilliant level as well. So you can't get these games.
I'll be honest,
these games that we do need Núñez. They really are.
I'll be honest with you. I just hope that last night was a bit of a double bluff. Salah and Núñez both sitting out the game, and we're all like, oh my God, they're injured. It's like, I genuinely feel he's trying to pull the wool over people's eyes and go, right, on Sunday, he's just going to go, right, there they are in attack. And I just hope it isn't one of these that we get there and he goes, no, they were injured really and they can't play. He'd be like, I think we'd all be gutted. If they play Sunday, it'll be amazing.
We need at least one of them. One of them because the game changes. And in the games like this, you need a game changer. We don't have Jota anymore. That's that clinical player that we can rely on when you need a goal. Because it's going to be a completely different game to last night. Last night, all it took is us playing well. The first half, I'm going to go into that actually, because the first half I don't think we played well, but a lot of people in our chat thought we did play well the first half. But I don't know if they have different mindset of football that I do. But playing well and playing well is, it can be seen different ways. Núñez last night, then Paul, we didn't have Núñez, didn't have Salah. How do you think we played as a whole then? Let's do the whole match performance as a whole. What was your thoughts and feelings on last night's game?
The first half was a little bit difficult to watch, not because of how we were playing actually, but because we were creating chances. The final passes just wasn't there, and we were losing. And we all know, we have watched football long enough to know that there are going to be games where you dominate. You have all of the possession, the shots, and the opposition have one chance, and you lose 1-0. So that was my fear at halftime. Not because we're playing poorly, but we're just thinking, Lord, is this one of those days? Because it was just that final pass that was just a little bit off. The second half, I know we would come out a little bit better. I didn't expect 4 goals, to be honest. But, I think the performance, bearing in mind that the bench was what it was, because that was also another fear that I had to. Normally, you know that Klopp is the master of changing, making halftime substitution, making substitution with 20 minutes to go when you need a goal or two. But that was not possible yesterday because we didn't have anybody at the bench. We have kids on the bench. So that was my worry, But I was also kind of encouraged by the way Luton was playing, because sometimes we struggle to break down low block teams. And I thought that it would be another situation where they would just sit back and try and block and put 10 men behind the ball. But to their credit, they were trying to play football. So that allowed us some more opportunities, especially in the second half. Yes, they may be a little bit naive in their approach because we are kicking to the cup end and this is Anfield, right? So they probably should have been a little bit more compact. But, fair play to them. They came out to play and we were the best team. And even though we had, 7 first-team players injured, we still had a better squad of players available than Luton. Our bench, the players that we had on our bench, yes, they are young players, but they are still more talented than what Luton have. So we still expect to win, but I was quite nervous at halftime. I'm not going to lie, because the thing is, these are the games that cost us, that can cost us the trophy, right? One draw against a bottom team, and then you lose the championship by 1 point, and you will never live it down. So that was where I was a little bit nervous. But having gotten the 3 points, I think I still believe that we have a decent chance to win the Premiership. Not the favorite, but we have a decent chance. And that's all we can ask for, really.
What I thought about the game itself, right, the first half, for me, the reason why I think we didn't play well is because we weren't good on the ball. When we got the ball, we weren't doing anything with it. We weren't creating. There were no patterns of play. There were no overlaps being used. We got to the edge of the box. We shot every single time. We kept wasting the chances. The pass was either overpassed or the shot was poor. But obviously Stephen in the chat said, we play well because we had a good position and we pressed like monsters. But that's off the ball. Pressing off the ball, our press was brilliant again last night. And having the ball, it doesn't mean that you've played well because you've got the ball in possession. We're going to have the most possession against Luton. It's Luton. But I think the first half as well, if you look how Luton played the first half, they fancied themselves, The amount of times they went past Gomez on that right-hand side and got crosses in or got to the byline or, created a chance for themselves. Second half, they couldn't do that. We were much more smarter. Defensive-wise, we were much more smarter going forward. I think Elliott's performance as a whole match summed up the match. Elliott, the first half, he was making complete wrong decisions. Each time he got the ball, he either passed it away or tried to, try something that he didn't need to patch. He's trying to force things that he didn't need to force. Second half, Elliott was one of the best players on the pitch. Elliott calmed down. It's like he matured at half time. Like he completely matured at half time. Got the ball down, pass it back sometimes, pass it sideways, got the ball back, looked for others. There was pattern. Second half, we played patterns of play. We used the overlap every time, and we scored like that because we was playing well. If we was playing well the first half and we weren't 1-0 down, we were 1-0 down to Luton at half time, I'd be very worried that we'd played well and we were 1-0 down to Luton. That's worrying.
Yeah.
I said as soon as we play well, we will score.
If you want to know the difference between the second half and the first half, just look at Lucho. Because the goal that Lucho scored, it was well taken. You know, a lot of composure to use his shoulder and go past the defender, left foot. That is far more difficult finish than the two that is caught in the first half.
Yeah.
Right. So that's
he's got that Nunes thing, hasn't he? He's got that Nunes condition.
Because that was a well taken goal because the defender didn't do anything wrong. The defender was taking away his right foot. He was ready for the block with his right foot. So what he did, use his shoulder, move him, and then use his weaker foot. So that was a class finish. So that just sums up the game because he got two simple chances in the first 10 minutes of the game and scuffed them. So I guess that's just football. But I also think that Klopp is one of the best managers I've ever seen in terms of changing the game at halftime. when the team is not going well and the halftime and you see him scrambling and running towards the dressing room, you just know that's going to be different in the second half. And he's the best at making adjustments. I've never seen a manager who can adjust in the middle of a game as Klopp. That's one of his big strengths.
Rob Edwards got it spot on. The Luton manager got it spot on with his analysis after the game last night. He said, my boys played well in the first half. We got the ball. We played well. He pretty much said we fancied it the first half. The second half, he said Liverpool. We saw Liverpool. It was a game of 2 hours. I'm not having the fact that we played well first half. We did not play well first half. We did okay off the ball. We kept the ball, but we're going to keep the ball against Luton. But on the ball, we were poor. And that's why Luton did fancy themselves. Also, off the ball and in defending wise, we were poor as well. Because there was plenty of times Luton had a couple of chances where they crossed it in and stuff. But second half, it was a different. Like Edward says, we saw Liverpool, and that's what Liverpool can do. And that I don't think I wasn't as nervous as our time I thought it would be being 1-0 down, because I knew as soon as we started playing well, the goals are going to come in. And it literally came in like that. As soon as we started playing, we got 2 goals in like a couple of minutes. As soon as we started playing patterns of play, as soon as we started seeing the overlaps, that ball was getting moved around, and that's it. But Luton couldn't handle us, and that's why we need to keep that sort of play up last time. If we could play like that against Chelsea on Sunday, we beat Chelsea. We beat Chelsea in the first half, but we need to go like that from the beginning. We need to play like that from the beginning. That patterns of play, keep to the system, and play with a bit of passion as well. On the ball, not as well as off the ball. It's okay doing things off the ball, but when you've got the ball, you need to make sure you are moving and stop wasting it as well. I'm sick of these long shots. Like I love Gomez and I love what he's been doing, but I'm sick of him shooting now. I'm sick of him shooting because one game it's going to be like, why have you shot like that? And it's going to end up costing us the game. Be smart with the ball. LA was smart with the ball in the second half, and we paid dividends for it. With the game coming up on Sunday, then Kings, as Moose says, do you think we rested Mo and Darwin specifically for the final? But if we don't have Darwin and Mo, what are we doing?
Well, I think it proved last night, to be honest. Because we're talking about that game, I think first half was Luton against 11 players. Second half was Luton against Liverpool at home. Completely different game. I mean, the noise that the stadium, not just the Kop, was making, it sounded sometimes a bit like the big European night. It was loud. It was really intimidating for them, probably thinking, when we're fairly fresh into the Premier League for the first season, and it's like, look, wow. And in a way, that's what Edwards was saying at the end. It's kind of like when you come to Liverpool and they play like they did second half, I don't care who you put in front of them. If they can play like that on Sunday against Man City and in potentially other finals that we might get to this season, I don't think anybody can hold a candle to them. It's just doing it consistently. If they play like they did first half, where it's just like you say, the ball's not quite getting there, there's not quite enough luck in front of goal. This team that played last night, if they play like they did second half, could beat Chelsea. If they add in just one or both of them 2 strikers, then I think we're rocking and rolling, ready for a big celebration on Sunday. I mean, as I've said before, it's the 4th choice out of all the trophies. That's what people say, the League Cup. To me, it's a trophy. I don't care. So I'll celebrate just
a stepping stone for the rest of the season as well.
Yeah, it gives you so much confidence. If you can win, I know we with Chelsea before have had it's drawn, it's gone to penalties. If you can win in 90 minutes, great. If it gets extra time, fine. I don't care if it's on penalties, because your captain's still the one going up holding the trophy up. That's all that matters to me. And if they play like they did second half, then I think they've got all the chance. He may genuinely have Salah and Nunez just held back because they might have a slight knock, and he might say, I'll put him on the bench for Sunday. But even just being there, as Paul said, we only had kids on the bench. So even if they're on the bench waiting to come on after 60 minutes or so, that's still terrifying thought for Chelsea to think these 2 superstars could be brought on against them if they're not starting. So
we started the stream with one of the men that are on the thumbnail, and that is Xabi Alonso. We're going to end the stream on the other man that is on the thumbnail, and that is Sir Jim Ratcliffe, new Manchester United owner. Well, mostly on and out of Manchester United taking over the Glazers as a full footballing man, as they like to call him. He has warned Liverpool and warned Manchester City of Manchester United coming back and knocking us off our pedestals, as they like politely call it, his enemies, as he calls us. Whether Man City are there when that happens, we don't know where Man City will be when Man United do finally come back up. But it seems if Liverpool do win this league this season, we match 20 with Manchester United. It does seem like fairy tale kings. It does seem fairy tale that if Man City were to get done for the Chargers, Liverpool might like going head to head for once.
Yeah, that would be nice. Flashes throughout the season, last season and this, Man United have played a game and everybody goes, "Oh, they're back." And then for 3 games, they don't really do that well. You know, that's how it seems to be. And to be fair, as an older Liverpool fan, I've seen that at Liverpool over the years. When we're struggling, you play 2 or 3 games, and everybody goes, "Oh, we were awesome." And then 5 games on the bounce, we just lose or we're just terrible. And it's like, what's the point? But you have to stick with it. With him coming in, he's got to come in and say the right things. It's like any player or manager. If Alonso or Gerrard or somebody else was to come into Liverpool, they're going to be like, right, I want to win the league. I expect us to do this. I expect us to do X, Y, and Z. He's got to say things like that because that's what the fans expect. He's not going to come in and go, well, Man City and Liverpool are too far ahead, but we'll give it a go. Everybody be like, well, what are you bothering for? So, I mean, knocking us off our perch, that's famous for Fergie saying that years ago. And to be fair to Fergie,
Nice
he
neighbor.
did knock everybody off the perch.
Yeah.
But I think he's got a bit pie in the sky at the moment. I think he's trying to run before he can even. Well, I don't even know if he's crawling on United yet. Because, I mean, he's already come out and said, I want a new stadium possibly, and I want public money to fund it. It's like, get over yourself, mate. That crumbling stadium you've got, you're stuck with it around your neck. Hard luck. And I just feel it's like, well, get yourself built up first, and let's see if you can be a so-called, proper, adversary in the league again. Hopefully, yes. I mean, I love the big games. It doesn't matter where Everton, but everybody, and I know it's different opinions, but like Everton potentially could go down this year because of the points deduction, etc. I've said every year that they've skirted around by relegation, I don't want them to go down. I love the derby games.
I agree. Yeah, me too.
I know we can laugh when we played Man United last year and it was 7-0. Could have probably been 10 or 11 if we were all honest. They were that bad. It doesn't matter to me if it's 1-0 or 10-0 as long as we beat our rivals.
Yeah.
So the Man United nowadays, the Man City, the Evertons, the big games like that, Arsenal, them are the games you want to see your team win and try your best. So if they think they can muster up some kind of proper challenge, then bring it on. Let's have it. Let's see.
If I'm honest, mate, I'd rather beat Man United in the 97th minute with a Panenka penalty from Nunes than beat him 7-0.
Yeah,
just for the sheer, the joy of it.
Think of how we all felt when we were playing Everton, and it was going to be a 0-0, and then it was a quirky set of circumstances, but that ball had come over and Origi just nodded it in. Klopp said he did apologise in the end. Obviously, he said he'd run on the pitch and everything. That's the kind of feeling that you want in any kind of big derby-ish kind of game. Like I say, 8-0, 7-0, whatever. It's like, it is fantastic to rub it in with your mates and you're like, oh, you were bad. But just the sheer excitement and fantastic feeling you get when there's like a last-minute winner or something like that. Yeah, I'd take that every day as well, to be honest.
If that was a choice, it could either that or that. But please, Liverpool, please win 8-0 on Sunday because I'm not late until 97th.
Yeah, make it easy.
I am just joking in terms of like waiting around for it and stuff like that. But if that was definitely guaranteed to happen, then you would choose that last-minute winner. We've seen many last-minute winners go against us, against Man United especially. I go back to Solskjaer, I go back to Forlan did it against us, didn't he? Rio Ferdinand did it against us. I think John O'Shea did it against us. I think we've had quite a few where they've scored last minute against us, against Manchester United. But yeah, from what I've seen about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, from what I've seen so far, I think he's doing the right things right now for Man United. As much as I hate to see it, I think he's trying to get footballing people in there. He's getting the right people underneath. That's what Glazers didn't do because they were businessmen first. And that's what FSG did get right. is they got the footballing people underneath. I think the difference between FSG and Glazers, they're both money-minded, but I think FSG got it right with the appointments just underneath. Glazers didn't. I think if it was, I think if FSG did what Glazers did and didn't get the right people underneath, I think we'd see them in the same light. That's what my position. I think the difference is FSG got it right, and that's what Ratcliffe's doing right now. So, do I see Man United going back? Yeah, because alongside Liverpool, the biggest club in England, one of the biggest clubs in the world, it only takes the right people to own them and the right people to put them in the right direction. I think they will get things right eventually. Do I think Ten Hag is the right manager? We don't know yet. I think he needs to be under different ownership and maybe better stability behind and a structure behind him. I've had this conversation plenty of times with Man United fans. Well, they need a structure behind them for it to work elsewhere as well, and the right players on the pitch, because the likes of Rashford aren't the right players because it's not the right attitude to have in that. It might change attitude with a new owner and a new thing. Possibly is it what's been bled out through through the club itself, through the owners. We don't know until that new ownership properly changes and we see a new direction. I am down for, as much as I hate it because I don't want Man United even in title challenge, but I'm proper down for Man United Liverpool title challenge. Paul, I don't know about you, because we've not really seen a proper Man United Liverpool, not since I've been alive, going head to head for the title. We've had a couple of, I think in 2006, 2007, when we had Alonso, Mascherano, Torres, Gerrard going for it then. And the facts comment from Benitez until that's when it all went downhill. But we've not really seen a proper Man United Liverpool head to head, have we?
And I am in no hurry to see that. I must admit, I'm a little bit different from you. I am quite happy with Man U being a mid-table team. I prefer 7-0 than a 97th minute 1-0. That if there's one team I hate, I just don't like Man U.
I can't stand them. Honestly,
I can't stand them. Everton is obviously is a derby and we beat them, so I want them to stay. But I hate Man U more than Everton, if that is possible. And Sir Jim is saying the right thing. He's saying the stuff that the Man U supporters want to hear. Fair play to him. But I think it's going to be a few years before Man U will even be back up where they think they should be. Primarily because the squad is not really that good. The squad is old. Other than Garnacho and that young guy, Kobe Mano, and one or two others, the squad is old. Varane, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Maguire. A lot of these guys are over the hill, and they are overly paid. Not able, it's going to be tough for them to revamp their team. And I don't think Liverpool is going anywhere. I believe that Chelsea will be more a force in the next 3-4 years than Man U. I could be wrong, of course, but at least Chelsea have a lot of talented young players. Maybe they are too young right now at the moment, so that's why they're struggling right now. But I would bet that Chelsea will be more of a force in the next 3-4 years than Man U. And I'm fine with that. I just can't stand them. Probably because of the heartache that I got as a younger man when Alex Ferguson was. Yeah. So it has left a scar on me. So even when we're not doing well, as long as Man U is not winning, I'm okay. So, but I don't think they're going to be a force anytime soon because they would need a big squad. They need about 10 players before they can be thinking about winning the league again, and that's not going to happen anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah, the hatred for Man United runs deep. Like it is childhood. Growing up around Man United fans, voting every single week. Watching referees cheat for them as well, and Fergie. There's certain things like the diving, the Fergie time, everything added together. My hatred for Man United. Everyone that knows me knows how much I can't stand.
I hate them.
Quite high up in terms of I can't stand, physically hate Man United. I can't ever see City ever being that, and Everton or Chelsea or Arsenal. They're nowhere near the amount of hatred for Man United. And the fans didn't help either. The fans didn't help throughout the 2000s and the 90s. They didn't help themselves at all without, I don't know, was it bias or deluded? They're still deluded. A lot of them are still deluded now. Thinking the players are better than what they are. But
Yeah.
This is why I could never really get into like England as much either, like proper being an England fan, because when it came to like Euros and World Cup, I always saw Gerrard. I cheer on Gerrard more than I cheer on England, if that makes sense. I wanted Gerrard to do as well. It was all that rivalry between Gerrard, Rooney, Lampard. You know, it was always that rivalry. I couldn't come away from that rivalry in international. That's why I've never really been a full England fan. I've wanted them to do well, but not. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the club, my club comes first and foremost, way ahead of anything else. So it's hard. You know, it's hard to really understand where Man United are right now, because again they're getting results as well off the pitch on the pitch right now, but they're not playing well at all, and it's gonna. They still might even get Champions League football, because Tottenham are crap, and Aston Villa seem to be dropping off a little bit. So Man United, they're still. I spoke to my uncle the other night. He's a Man United fan, and I said you should be favourites for the top four now, just because the other two are just not that good at all, and that's the way it is. If they get top four, they've got a good platform there to build upon, and with a new owner, it is new light. So I think it is setting up for like Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool title challenges coming up in the near future. I do believe that, and good for the Premier League, but as Paul said, we don't Man United in title challenges, unfortunately.
What about City? They will be relegated.
Well, let's. I'm not even going to say that, Alan, because they don't even count as a rivalry anymore. They're just there out there. They're just there. We'll see about City. I think it's one of them. We'll wait. I think what's going to happen first? Liverpool sporting director, the manager sorted out first, or City. What's going to happen to City first? I think it's like a race of what's going to happen next. Everyone that has tuned in tonight, please make sure you like our video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We just hit 10,000 subscribers. We were aiming for 20,000 next. If you can, please share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues, share it with your enemies if you like. Share it with Jim Ratcliffe. He's an enemy of ours. Please share it with him. I'm sure he will put it on his. I'm sure he will subscribe to this channel very much soon. If he wants to create a rivalry again, then subscribe to this channel, Jim. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you, Kings and Paul, for joining me tonight as well. Hope you have a great weekend, and I hope it ends on a trophy win. Good night, Reds, and hope you have a great weekend.